On to this now. Cyclone Freddy has left another trail of destruction in central Mozambique after making landfall for a second time this month. The communications and electricity supply have been cut. This is due to the damage. At least one man has died yesterday after his house collapsed on him. 27 people have been killed since this storm first made landfall 2 weeks ago. Well, let's get some perspective now, and senior weather forecaster at the South African Weather Service is Buseletso Mufokeng, joining us to chat about this particular cyclone. Mr. Mufokeng, thank you very much for your time. Cyclone Freddy making landfall for a second time in Mozambique. Is it indeed factual that this is probably the longest lasting cyclone that we have ever come across?
Good morning, Koli, and good morning to the viewers as well. Yes, indeed, this cyclone has been the longest living cyclone. Actually, last week, I think it was around Monday or Tuesday, that record was broken. So this is the longest surviving tropical system. At this point, we are calling it an overland depression. It's more on the central areas of Mozambique. But in terms of the heavy rain, in terms of flooding, it's not yet over. So we're still to continue issuing alerts about the potential heavy rain and flooding over the central and the northern Mozambique. But that is not all. It also includes the extreme southern areas of Tanzania, the southern areas of Malawi, as well as the extreme edges of Zimbabwe. So this is today and also tomorrow. So we are still continuing with the heavy rain. Yes, in terms of the wind, I think the conditions are starting to die down. The strong winds that we have observed earlier today had been more confined along the coastal areas of Mozambique. But other than that, I don't think there would be any much of damage from the wind itself. But correctly so, the people of Mozambique had been warned well enough about the movement of this storm. I did see that over the weekend, it actually moved quite slow along that coast, whereas it was expected to move in very quick. However, I think after tomorrow, the system would have died down all completely.
Yeah. How long, though, is it going to remain in Mozambique for? Because for as long as it is still around, yes, the intensity of it may be less and less, but people are still going to be frightened, but also more importantly, they're probably desperate to rebuild.
Well, as I've pointed out, there is a potential that tomorrow that cyclone, or rather that depression, will still be sitting over the central Mozambique, more closer to the southern region of Malawi. However, we are expecting that the rainfall will continue. The only difference will be the wind. The wind will die down. It does appear that on the third day, that means on Wednesday forward, there might be no further chance of heavy rain. There could be obviously potential rainfall that can cause flooding, even if it's not heavy. So at this point, at least today and tomorrow, we are still talking about heavy rain and potential flooding in the northern Mozambique, in the central Mozambique, including southern Malawi, and also the extreme southern areas of Tanzania. So by tomorrow, those conditions with the northwestward movement of that system towards the southern Malawi, we're also expecting that this heavy rain and potential flooding will also reach the eastern areas of Zambia. That will also include the southern areas of DRC. So that's what we are expecting. However, as I indicated, we are expecting that at least on day number 3, the only factors that would be left would be remnant rainfall that could lead to flooding, but that flooding won't be as major as the one that had just occurred. So afterwards, after Wednesday, I think generally SADC will remain with no extreme conditions, although here in South Africa we'll have a few thunderstorms, but there are no extreme conditions that we are expecting starting from about Wednesday onwards.
I think you've explained it very well. This cyclone already has killed 27 people, 10 in Mozambique and 17 in Madagascar. That is Buseletso Mofokeng. He is a senior weather forecaster at the South African Weather Services. Thank you very much for that information. So not much to worry about here in South Africa.